Hey peeps, back once again with another Division 2 video. Just having a wee look at my variation of a DPS build. So, full red, everything is red. So, starting off with the specialization, we went with Technician, and the reason why that is because it comes with an attachment for your weapons called a linked laser pointer. So, going to the first weapon here, I have opted with the military AKM. One of the hardest hitting assault rifles in the game. It's coming with 139.1 total damage, 600 RPM with 50 in the mag. So what we've got here is 15% assault rifle damage, 21% health damage, and 10% damage to target out of cover. Now with the talent on there we have Killer, which killing an enemy with a critical hit grants another 40% critical hit damage for 10 seconds. Absolutely phenomenal. It's a slow firing AR, it's not the fastest one in the game. I understand that, but for me, the thing just absolutely shreds. As soon as it starts to hit, you're hitting well over a mil when you're hitting headshots and stuff like that. So, looking at the attachments, we've opted for crit hit damage on the sight. Sturdy extended 7.62 mag for the extra 20 rounds, and for the underbarrel, we've got linked laser pointer. So the technician laser pointer that pulses targets at which it's aimed at, and the underbarrel attachment for long range. So this fits on the AKM, lovely. And moving forward to the muzzle, we have the flash hider 7.62 with an extra 5% crit hit damage. So, secondary rifle, classic M1A. Forever if it's called classic, because everybody seems to used to use that. I love it. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. Now, with the M1A, it's coming with 471.1 total damage, 180 RPM with 15 in the mag. We also have 15% rifle damage, 17% crit hit damage, which I have rolled on there, and it comes with 6% damage to armour as well. Ideally, I've got a few M1As and stuff like that. I've found for content I'm wanting to shred people as much as I possibly can in PvE. And the reason why I've went for the damage to armour instead of the damage to target out of cover is because when you get into the harder levels like legendary and stuff, they don't just stand out in the open. So the damage to target out of cover becomes pretty much obsolete. If they pop up from behind cover, I'm still getting that damage to armour bonus compared to the damage to target out of cover. With the handgun, it is the TDI card custom, and it's coming with 233.7 total damage, 310 RPM with 18 in the mag. I've optimised the pistol to 15%, and it comes with a skill tier as well. So we are set to skill tier 1 on a DPS build. Now, you do get an extra skill tier from Technician Specialization, so if I do equip the pistol, as you can see in the bottom left, I go to skill tier 2, which is handy dandy. Now, you could opt for another assault rifle. You could use anything you wanted. So obviously, it just really depends on your personal preference. But for me, this suits my playstyle. And as much as it is a bit bouncy and stuff like that, when you're shooting for 600 RPM, it's not as bad as something with a faster fire rate, like your Eagle Bearer and so on and so forth. Now, the Eagle Bearer is a phenomenal weapon. The only thing that I've found when it comes to legendary content and stuff, you're not able to get these headshot kills as fast as what you would do in lower level content, heroic and down the way. And obviously from that, because it's delaying all the damage that you get from that weapon until the buff expires. If you're in Legendary and you have to take cover and pop a medkit and that expires when you're popping that medkit and all that damage you've taken hits you at once, you're dead because you're sitting with 726k armour. So you haven't got a lot of room for manoeuvrability there. You can't stand and face tank and take a lot of damage. It's literally in cover and shooting from cover. Now, moving on to the build, we've went for 3-piece Providence. So with the mask, we have 15% weapon damage, 12% crit hit damage, and 6% critical hit chance. And we have a 12% critical hit damage mod on there. Now the brand set bonus for one piece is giving you 50% headshot damage, two piece is 10% crit hit chance, and three piece is an extra 15% crit hit damage. Now for the chest piece, I've opted for Spotter as a talent, so amplifies total weapon damage and skill damage by 15% to pulsed enemies. Now that's going to coincide perfectly with the linked laser pointer on the weapons, and as you can see I've got it on both. Now unfortunately I can't put it on the pistol, you don't have that option because it's not long rail, so it makes no difference. So with the backpack, going back to the chest piece, we have the 14.3 weapon damage, 5.5 crit hit chance, 11.4 crit hit damage, and a 12% crit hit damage mod. I haven't got round to optimising this as of yet. I did optimise a lot of gear, and it just got to the point where I just wanted to go and play instead of farming for pieces and stuff like that to be able to optimise the gear. I will get it to max at one point. Now, the backpack, we went for the named Providence Defence backpack called the Gift. Now you can obtain this from the Dark Zone. I was very fortunate to get one to drop. I rolled max crit hit damage on there. The stats were relatively low on the weapon damage side of things. The crit hit chance I think was sitting at like 5.1, maybe just below that. But I have optimised both to max now, and I have 12% crit hit damage mod. Now the talent on here is the perfect vigilance instead of standard, and it increases your total weapon damage by 25%, and taking damage disables the buff for 3 seconds instead of I think it's 4 for the normal vigilance backpack. Now, on to the gloves. We have the Grupo Sombra gloves, perfect god roll. So we have the 15% weapon damage, 6% crit hit chance, and 12% crit hit damage. Now with the Grupo Sombra, you do get the brand set bonus of an extra 15% crit hit damage on there as well. Now, going to the holster, we have the Improvised Holster. You can get this from the crafting station and craft it away. It is literally your Donald Duck on the stats that you get rolled on these when you're crafting. There's no way that you can farm this and pick it up somewhere else in game or through raids or anything like that at all. It's literally something you need to craft, and it's taken me a long time to get 3 reds on there that were high enough that I would want to optimise 2 of the stats. So as you can see, I've got max weapon damage of 15%, which I rolled on there. I've got the crit hit damage, which has been fully optimised to 12%. I've got the crit hit chance that's currently at 5.5%, and I've got a crit hit damage mod of 12%. And this is why I went for this, just due to the fact that we're able to get an extra mod on there and increase the damage output on this DPS build, as you can see. So moving on to the knee pads, we have perfectly rolled knee pads of 15% weapon damage, 6% crit hit chance, which are rolled on there, 12% crit hit damage, which is optimised the same as the weapon damage, and an extra 12% crit hit damage mod. Now, on the pistol, we have in sync. So hitting an enemy grants 50% skill damage for 5 seconds, and using a skill or damaging an enemy with a skill grants 15% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Damage increases are doubled when both buffs are active at the same time. Now, it's maybe not the best talent for this build, however this gun I use in numerous builds, and one of the builds I do have on a previous video, I do use it because I'm using a shield, and I'm not using a skill on this to be getting extra damage from a skill, so like a turret or a drone or whatever like that. So I've just left that as it is. With the skills, preferential on the hive. It's up to you what you want to use. If you don't want to use the hive, basically because I have skill tier 1, I've got an extra charge on there, so what I can do is I can fling out the hive and use it to revive an ally if necessary, and then pick up a hive and use it for myself if necessary or required. So moving on to the secondary skill, I've opted for the remote pulse. Now the remote is deployed at a set location and continuously pulses the nearby area for hostiles and visually highlights them in the agent's minimap at the top left of your screen. So disregard the cooldown because I'm in the shooting range and it has got the 500% skill haste active, so that cooldown is not going to be accurate. So the duration is 62 seconds, which is over a minute, which is absolutely fantastic. The effect radius is 19 meters, especially in the DPS build. Now, a lot of people would say, why don't you just use a scanner pulse? For me personally, when I use that scanner pulse, it doesn't last as long. And the cooldown, because I'm on a DPS build, is quite high, and because of that, I want the pulse to last longer as much as I possibly can, because the link laser pointer can be a bit hit and miss sometimes. It can proc spotter on the chest piece, however, with that, because it sometimes doesn't, this is why I've got the remote pulse there. Now, on here, because we're at skill tier 1, we get an extra 15% duration and an extra 15% radius as well. So that's actually handy dandy. So, also, with Technician Specialization on the skill tree, I've got an extra 15% rifle damage, an extra 15% assault rifle damage, and I've got pistol damage on there as well. Now, Keener's Watch is absolutely maxed out on everything here, as you can see. And going to the stats, for the primary weapon, the AKM, we have 139,000 weapon damage, 55 crit chance, 216.4 crit hit damage, 90% headshot damage, 21% health damage with 31 meter range, and pretty basic stats otherwise than that. All weapons damage bonus is 99.3%. Marksman rifle damage bonus is coming from depleted rounds. I'll be honest, I can't remember where that comes from. And 15% rifle damage bonus and a 30% assault rifle damage bonus as well. 726,000 armour, and then just pretty standard across the board for your kind of defensive stats and stuff. So if I go back here, switch to the M1A. Now on the M1A, I do have the 3.4 times scope with an extra 5% crit chance, link laser pointer, and I have the tightly packed marksman rounds, an extra 5 rounds in the mag, so it gives us 15 in the mag. Personally, I like the scopes that I can actually activate myself. There is a couple of scopes where you can just scope in, but it automatically does it. So the problem that you have is that, for me personally, like if I'm trying to aim and someone's right in front of me and I have to scope in, it's a pain in the butt. If I can just click in R3 on the PlayStation and scope in when I want to scope in, then it means I can get the long range shots a wee bit easier. Now with the talent on the weapon, we do have Rangers, so it amplifies the weapon damage by 2% for every 5 metres you're away from the target. Generally I'm using this for long range, because the AKM is a bit bouncy and stuff like that, so trying to shoot with an AR from long range, if it's a bit bouncy and you've not got a lot of weapon handling, which I don't in this build, it can become quite difficult to get them headshots on an AKM. So, going back to stats, we do have 471,000 weapon damage, 60% crit hit chance, 223.4 crit hit damage, 95% headshot damage, 6% damage to armour, with a 60 metre range. It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Stats are pretty basic across the board there. We do have the 30% rifle damage bonus, 15% assault rifle damage, 15% marksman rifle. Can't even remember why that's there. I've probably got it selected for some reason or another. I think I was messing about with the Nemesis or the Madness. So, as you can see, just pretty basic stats across the board that people will normally have. And then
agent requesting backup.
Always seems to happen, man. It just happened in the last video as well. With the signature weapon with technician, you do get the rocket launcher, which is hitting about 2.5 million in damage, which you cannot complain at all. It's pretty decent because you can just highlight 6 targets, fire all 6 bullets at once. You're not having to do one at a time. It's pretty good. Sometimes it's a bit hit and miss. It can just hit objects like walls or boxes and stuff like that. The enemies have kind of maybe done a diving roll behind and it follows them and it hits the box instead of them. But it's quite good for cracking heavies and stuff like that, like your heavy machine gunners and stuff that have the Stinger high backpacks and legendaries and stuff. So it's pretty decent that way. And generally other people running other specializations like survivalists and stuff like that with the crossbow, which is really good for cracking the dog's armour and cracking the heavies and stuff like that as well. So that's pretty much it, guys, for the build. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, leave a sub. Peace.